Hey Vivian, thanks for your work in week 4. Just want to send you a quick video reply here and also check in to make sure that I am offering enough options for the Zoom discussion groups. So if one of those Zoom discussion groups is just not something you want to do for whatever reason, that's totally fine, no pressure. But if you're finding yourself in the one of the asynchronous groups week after week because none of the Zoom discussion group times ever works, do let me know because I can change those up, give some more options, and come up with something that will work for you. So let me know with like a reply to this video or send me a note or something. You got some good stuff here in both forums in week 4. I think that I want to kind of move right into two things. First of all, there's something here in the second one that I wanted to highlight. It's this phrase right here where you say, Jesus' ministry delivers compassion and liberation through proximity. And I just love that. I think it's so important to underscore that Jesus comes near to people, uh, talks with them directly, feels their need himself. And this is hard for us as disciples of Jesus, as church communities to embrace because being near to people is hard. It can be painful, it can be frustrating, and it's much easier to pretend to be compassionate from a safe distance. And the result, though, is there isn't really salvation or liberation, as you say here, when we try to convey some kind of good will towards people from a distance always, or without entering into their situation, their circumstances, their need as deeply as we possibly can. So great insight there. In the first forum, you got some good responses, I think, to both questions. I want to say two things. First of all, the first one where you talk about the power of the Son of Man to forgive sins and the way that Jesus demonstrates his power to do this. And I just wanted to keep pushing this interpretation you're developing to what the crowds say at the end of this scene, which is they glorify God. They're astonished that God had given such power to human beings. And the reason I'm calling your attention to that is what the crowds infer, and I think what Matthew implies is that Jesus has this power as a human being, and it's power that he shares with other human beings. As you know, you say in the next one, these 12 that he gives his power to. It's not a divine power that is separate from something God gives to human beings. It's power that comes from God, but is given to human beings. And that is then power that I think we are to learn in ourselves, to exercise, to convey, experience in our lives. It's a power available to human beings. So, wanted to emphasize that. And then finally, I think I just want to quibble a little bit with what you've brought in from Carter. Because I think whenever we read something like, don't go down any roads leading to the Gentiles or into any city of the Samaritans, but go only to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, we feel the need to say, okay, yeah, this is important, but, and I think Keener does that. This is temporary. We can sort of tolerate this that sort of offends us because of its limitations, because we know it's only for a little bit and eventually it goes for everybody. And I worry about this because it seems to me that while it's true that by the end of the gospel, Jesus is going to send 11 of these 12 apostles to disciple all the peoples of the world, it's not sort of correcting something that was temporary. Or, Jesus ticked off a box with the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So now, we can move on to everybody and sort of relieve us of the scandal that we feel at the limits of this delegation that he sends out of 12. Instead, it seems to me that the power of Jesus that finally grows to touch all of the peoples of the earth is the power that begins and focuses on the people of his home, the people where he has grown up, the concentrations of his community in villages and towns in Judea and Galilee. It's not that this implies some second kind of secondary status of Samaritans or Gentiles. I try to explain that in the chapter on this. But it is that Jesus is not invested in sort of rushing past his neighbors, the people that live close to him and that he shares his life with, to reach people that are farther afield. He wants to reach people that are farther afield, but only with the neighborly love that he teaches among those that he shares his place with. And that's what he teaches his disciples to do. So I hope that can inform how we think of the scope of the kingdom coming from heaven, our calling to follow Jesus in the service of that kingdom, so that we don't reduce this moment in Matthew 10 to just this temporary thing that Jesus had to fulfill the way that, you might tick off a box or something. So, hope that's helpful to you. Thanks again for some good work in week 4. See you one way or another in week 5.